Hello crafty friends, this is the Papered Chef here. And in this short tutorial, I'd like to show you how I'm going to cut out these Mickey Mouse shapes from this cute paper that I found at Joann. And I'm going to be using my brother's Scan and Cut to do that. When I saw this paper, I thought, perfect for the brother Scan and Cut. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, when you turn on the brother Scan and Cut, you can either say that you're going to cut a pattern or that you're going to scan something. In this case, I want to scan this paper. And I'm going to directly cut from the paper, so I'm selecting Direct Cut. This paper has pretty good contrast between light and dark, so I don't need color recognition mode. The black and white recognition mode should be fine for this paper. And go ahead and load the paper, pressing the load button. And now, I want to show you, I would probably use, this is cardstock. This isn't really just paper, this is the cardstock weight. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use a 5 for my blade depth. And I'm going to go ahead and say start. Now what the paper is doing is it's scanning in. And we'll see how well it does by recognizing the patterns. To hold my mat in place, because the mat wasn't very sticky, I used my Cricut spatula. And now a spatula does come with the Brother Scan and Cut, but it doesn't have a whole lot of surface area. So I choose to use the Cricut spatula, which works really well. Okay. I'm going to say okay. Now, I think it did a pretty good job here. Now what I mean is the top row didn't have full Mickey Mouses anyway. I'm going to zoom in. All the rest of the paper did, so I don't care that the top row didn't get recognized that well because I don't want to cut out the partial Mickeys. I'll use those for something else. It looks like it did a great job on the rest of the paper. I'm going to go ahead and do a couple things. First thing I'm going to do is, and this is what I always do pretty much when I'm making embellishments, is I'm going to go ahead and take this shape and add a little outline distance to it. I just choose the smallest outline distance. It'll give a little border around it. And the next thing I'm going to do is, just so I don't have to go and delete a lot of these shapes, I'm going to go ahead and say ignore object size. Instead of 0.12 inches, I know that these Mickeys are each more than an inch. So I can safely say, well, I'm just going to be safe to say, just ignore things that are less than an inch by a half an inch. Okay, that got rid of a lot of the strays here. Let's go a little higher. I don't want to delete my Mickeys. All right. But it's doing a great job of getting rid of a lot of those. We're just going to say ignore things that are 1.02 inches. What I'm left with is just a few little remnants of, I'm going to go ahead and say preview. I'm left with a few little remnants of Mickeys that don't need to cut out. The reason I'm going to delete those is I don't want partial Mickeys. Well, actually, I can just, an easier way is just, let's select the bottom of the paper and the top of the paper out. So then maybe I won't have to worry about deleting those stray parts. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and say preview. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm not sure why it's not letting me do anything here. Maybe I think I have the boxes selected outside of the cuttable area. Let's see if it lets me cut now. I'm not even getting any option. Okay, now I'm getting an option that says okay. What I've done to get that option, just to give you a little troubleshooting advice, is when you're not even getting the okay button, it means that you have an area that's not cuttable. In which case, like I had the line here was not inside the mat enough. So now I just go ahead and I did that and I get the okay button. So that's better. All right, so now say okay again. And I'm at the point where I told you about getting rid of those little remnants. Okay, if there were any, but there are not any. If there were little pieces of Mickey that are going to cut out partially, I would go ahead and delete them at this point. But I don't need to. I'm just going to go ahead and say cut. And then I'm going to hit the start button. And it's going to take 4 minutes to cut these papers. So I will be back for part 2. And what I want to do in part 2 is just show you, because I found these papers also at Joann, and I'm going to show you a project that I'm going to make. Okay, and why I'm going to make it. Okay, so we'll be back in a few minutes. Hello, crafty friends. This is part 2 of the video. We just got done cutting out Mickey Mouse. I'm going to go ahead and unload the mat and just show you we had a pretty successful cut here. And I'm going to just peel back the paper. And by the way, when I tried this in color recognition mode, I even had a little bit higher success rate, but only by a couple Mickeys, so it doesn't really matter. All right, so to remove the Mickeys from the mat, I'm going to go ahead and move this Brother Scan and Cut out of the way and just show you that all I do to remove the Mickeys very easily is bend the mat and they pop right off. Okay, so while this was cutting, I was making these adorable little coffee cups using the other paper that I bought from Joann. And the reason I want to make these right now is because I have a relative who works at Disney, and I found out that Disney is closing due to Hurricane Irma. Okay, so she's going to be coming north to see us, and she's trying to evacuate Florida in a lot of traffic. So I figured it'd be really fun when she gets here to give her a bunch of these little treats with Mickey cups. So where did I get this paper? Again, Joann. There were 3 styles. Now for the bottom pattern with the small Mickeys, I wouldn't use the Brother Scan and Cut on this because they're already so small and it's so cute and makes a great background for cards and for these little coffee cups. Okay, now this Disney Mickey punch I got from Hobby Lobby, and I'll also link to it. I'm sure it's on Amazon. I'll provide a link. Okay, and that's how I cut out this embellishment. This is Stampin' Up! Ribbon called Vintage Crochet. It's in the holiday catalog. This was a 2-inch punch. Okay, and what I'm going to do for the top of this now is, because this is what the video is about, is I'm going to go ahead and take one of these Mickeys from the Brother Scan and Cut, and I'm going to embellish the top of the cup. Now, I already had this in mind when I was in the store, this entire project. So this is what it looks like. And I'll be creating a separate blog post on all the materials used to make the mini coffee cups. I'm going to be making the base of the cup, some of those with this paper, and some with this paper. And I have a die that I use. This is the die, and this is the band. And this die is from the Stamp Doctor. Got a little Mickey caught in there. Okay, so that's what the coffee cup holder looks like when it comes out. Okay, well, thanks for watching, and please visit my blog, thepaperchef.com. I'm going to be putting a link to my blog in the